It's certainly been a good few days to be an Arsenal fan, everyone. We've got some great news and it surrounds Jurriën Timber. Only a few days on from the win against Liverpool, we're now finding out that Jurriën Timber could be back with the Arsenal squad very, very soon, as he's been registered for Arsenal's Champions League squad for the knockout stages. Of course, Arsenal resume Champions League action when they take on Porto on the 21st of February at 8 p.m, but we'll have plenty of time to preview that. The big news is that he's at least part of the squad. Now, of course, that doesn't mean he's necessarily back for the Porto game, but it does mean that he's potentially in contention to play a big part of the end of our season. And we know that we're going to need a player like Jurriën Timber. We know that our squad's been a little bit thin, especially in defence, and it probably answers a few questions as to why Arsenal weren't more proactive in the transfer market in terms of bringing in defenders, in terms of bringing in some cover for a player like Jurriën Timber. We knew that his injury was long-term, but it could be that's not as long-term as we first feared. When he got injured, let's cast our minds all the way back, because he was a player we were super excited for. Came for what, 40 to 50 million pounds from Ajax. Really exciting, young centre-back actually, but we'd been playing him at full-back. He got minutes in pre-season at right-back, left-back. He was inverting, overlapping, doing everything, looking brilliant on the ball, and we thought, wow, like we've got the answer to the defensive depth we needed. And he started in the Community Shield and looked superb. He locked up Man City's right hand side, and he was absolutely terrific. And again, we thought we're on to a winner. This guy settled in at Arsenal quicker than I may have ever seen any signing settle in. I mean, he looked absolutely brilliant. Of course, others have settled in quickly, but you get my point. Only in his first Premier League start against Nottingham Forest, he goes down injured. Now, he was playing left back, in his early kind of competitive matches against Arsenal. Yes, I consider the Community Shield a competitive match, but it's such a shame that an hour into his debut, because actually in the first half, he went down kind of holding the back of his knee, and you thought, oh, this doesn't look great. It's one of those where there's not a lot of impact and they go down, and you think, that never looks good. Normally when there's impact, you kind of hope maybe the player is overdoing it a little bit. I don't know, to get something with the referee. I don't know what it is. But this when there's no contact and they go down, it feels a little bit strange, and we saw that then in the second half. He came out for the second half, probably feeling okay, but obviously couldn't carry on, and then we find out that it's pretty serious. Now let's just have a little look at what it is. So according to Transfermarkt, it's a cruciate ligament tear, and he's missed 29 games for Arsenal so far. Of course, he hasn't played since early August. Now that's a long time to be out, and it looked like a player who was going to play a massive part in our season. So really, really disappointing to lose someone who I think Arteta acknowledged that, as brilliant as Zinchenko was, as brilliant as White was, he wanted different options. Even Rob Holding was the backup centre-back. Last season, you wonder whether Timber would have played a little bit more minutes at centre-back if he'd been fit. And it felt like he was going to cover a lot of different areas and play a massive, massive part in this team. It's funny, he's played 60 minutes of Premier League football, and I bet if you ask Arsenal fans what is Arsenal's best 11 when everyone's fully fit, a lot of them probably have Timber in. That's how much of an impression he made early on in his time at Arsenal. And he's not played since then. Now, it's really disappointing, right? Because we were so excited. Arsenal didn't address anything in the summer transfer window. They actually, in fact, let Kieran Tierney go out on loan, and then they got a deal done. They didn't get a deal done in January, when perhaps they could have, and a lot of people thought they would, but it could be FFP and other things that sort of denied that, moving ahead. So I'm really excited about this. I'm really excited. I mean, you kind of get rumours and you get reports sort of online that he's a freak of nature, like his ability to sort of be back already training. We saw footage really early on, I think when they took the team photo, that he was kind of walking, and you were like, what? Like, this is meant to be like a really serious knee injury. In fact, there are even reports that when he got the injury at first, he didn't think it was anything too serious, because he spent the next 2 hours after that injury pretty comfortable, apparently walking around on it, like feeling absolutely fine, only to then with the scans find out it was pretty serious. So this guy's built different, right? There's a real chance that this is something that probably should have kept him out longer, but he's just recovered brilliantly. Now, I think it was back in January, we're talking maybe 2 weeks ago, that we suddenly saw footage of him actually training. Now, that was it. They were out in Dubai. So he travelled with the group to Dubai, where, of course, they did a lot of training. But he was doing sort of, it's not ball at his feet exercises, on the pitch, working with the ball, getting back into it, and that's good. That's a good sign, right? Kicking a ball, running around, that kind of thing. It shows that there's some significant progress and recovery has certainly been made. Getting to match fit and being at a stage where you're physically able to compete with the levels of the Premier League and the competitiveness that he's going to face week in, week out, that's another question. But these were all really encouraging signs as well. And now here we are with loads of rooms, lots of reports, but crucially confirmation that he is a part of the Champions League squad and that he should be back in full training very soon in the coming weeks, or what some reports and rumours are saying, which is really exciting. Like, really, really exciting. I think if we can, and I know I keep saying if, and on the back of a win against Liverpool, you're feeling good. West Ham is still quite a few days away. You're probably thinking, what's the word? You're probably like in higher spirits. So when I'm saying what I'm about to say, you might go, listen, James, we've all been there, right? We know how this story goes. But what I was going to say is, if we can get Timber back, Tomiyasu can stay fit, Partey can finally make a return, Gabriel Jesus can stay fit for more than a month or two, the squad starts to look really packed. It starts to look like there's real quality and there are options in the 11 that we can rotate, mix up, and actually have different options going forward. I feel like a lot of us, apart from not knowing what to do with that midfield three, we've pretty much known what our best 11 has been for the last 3, 4, 5 months because the squad availability has sort of dictated that. Now, if we know that, the other teams know that, the other managers know that. It'd be really great to go into games, especially when we go to the Etihad in April. It'd be really good to go there. When do we go to the Etihad? I think it's early April. It'd be really good to go there, right? With them not knowing, well, are they going to come to play with Zinchenko at left back? Or are they going to be a little bit more resilient with Tomiyasu? Or are they going to go for a blend of both with Timber? It'd be great to throw those questions. It'd be great if we can just mix it up. And I know you're thinking, okay, so that's the back four. What about the rest? But, look, Havertz put in a decent shift the other day. Trossard's been scoring goals. These are the questions we want our team to be a little bit more unpredictable. And then you look at midfield, the way Jorginho played the other day, Thomas Partey. Suddenly, that left 8 position, or that third midfield, right, because Rice and Odegaard nailed on, it's not about, is it Trossard, is it Havertz, is it Smith Rowe? And you're going, well, it could be Partey or Jorginho if we can keep them fit and if we can get them in the team. Arteta even said the other day that Jorginho's been playing with some, injury problems and discomfort. So these are the problems we want to have going late into the season. We want to have, and good problems. I mean, problems with throwing up for the opposition. So, yeah. Listen, Porto come on I think they come to the Emirates, right? So let me just have a little quick look. Bear with me 1 second. Can't remember if we're at home in the first leg. I don't think we are, actually. We are. Okay, we're at home. No, I lied. 21st of February, we're at Porto. So 3 away games in a row. West Ham away, Burnley away, Porto away are our next 3 before we host Newcastle at home. So those are really big 3 games. To build momentum. We want to make it 5 wins in a row in the Premier League. But then to actually kickstart things in the Champions League really well. If we can do really well away from home, come away with a positive result, we can build on that. Then it's Newcastle at home, and then you're starting to build momentum in the latter stages of the season, a really crucial part of the season. We want to do that. City have just won their last 5 in a row, and they're throwing it at us. As on Liverpool, the form they showed in January, we want to throw something back at them. We did with that win against Liverpool, but now it's about momentum, building momentum, and just showing them that we've got that consistency. I think everyone knew that over 90 minutes Arsenal could do something, but it's about having that championship mentality and going again and again and again. And a player like Jurrien Timber returning is only going to enthuse the fans even more. That's certainly a part of it. I think it's going to get people believing even more. But it's just great news. It's just a quality player that we can add to our roster and our list of options going later into the season. Of course, none of this is confirmation that he's even going to play that much or that he's, going to even... I'm saying all this with the assumption that if he's in, including the Champions League squad, and he's meant to be back in a few weeks, and there's been loads of rumours, reports that he's been, really had a schedule, then I'm really confident he's playing some football by March. But again, let's wait and see, because I imagine Arsenal would want to be quite sensitive with this kind of stuff. Not sensitive, sensible, and not force him back earlier than he needs to be, especially if Tomiyasu comes back, raring to go from the Asia Cup. So that's the update. Jurrien Timber is included in the Champions League squad. I'm really excited to see him. I think we will see him for a significant part of the last 2-3 months of the season, and that is exciting news. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and go check out all the content as well that's coming from the Ghana tour. AFTV are out in Ghana as well. Go check out all the amazing content that'll be coming from there, some previews and all sorts from there. Amazing trip will be there as well. And hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe to AFTV. More updates will be coming to you throughout the week as and when they come through to all of us. See you all in a bit.
Shop for AFTV merch at shop.aftv.co.uk. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Snapchat, and Twitch. We've got content for every platform, so check it out.